So lately I've been exploring the idea of your self-worth being attached to your productivity, meaning that if I'm doing things, if I'm achieving things, if I'm accomplishing things, only then am I worthy of love, appreciation, care, rest, all those things. I have personally been stuck in this for as long as I can remember. Even though I'm aware of this phenomenon that takes place in my life, it still gets difficult sometimes to notice it happening in real time. But I am getting quicker at recognizing when I'm doing that, and so I'm able to snap out of it and be like, you cannot be acting like this. Some of the signs of when we are attaching our self-worth to productivity or accomplishments could be signs of burnout. It could be seeking a lot of external validation, which honestly, I do that. I'm not even gonna lie. It could be not prioritizing your rest. It could be having fear of failure, right? So now you're afraid to go do things because you think it means something about you and your worth. For me personally, a sign is like when I'm irritated with little things in life. Every little thing is like bothering me. It's getting to me and it's not even a big deal. I need to check in with myself and be like, okay, what's really bothering you? Another sign is when I feel this kind of like desperation to go do something. Like I need to go do something to feel good about myself like right now. I've learned to recognize when that happens and I just pause now, because oftentimes when I do something out of that desperate feeling, I have either signed up for something I don't actually want, therefore I don't do it with my whole heart. It ends up actually backfiring on me, or I end up feeling good for like a split moment, but then I'll come back to the same place of not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling accomplished, not feeling successful, right? Safe to say that I've been here many times, and I'm sharing this because I just realized what I've been doing to continue this cycle. I think the first thing that I needed to shift was, what does productivity mean in this season / chapter of my life? Productivity is gonna look different depending on where I'm at in life. Since December, January, February, March, April. So the last 4 or 5 months, I have been very intentional about putting an old story to bed. It's been a lot of reflecting, a lot of crying, a lot of journaling, a lot of breathing, meditation, a lot of talking to people, a lot of friends, a lot of coaching, a lot of help, a lot of books. That's a different chapter. So productivity for me right now is looking like, are your basic needs met, you know? Are you sustaining yourself? Are you still participating in your life? Are you still talking to your friends? Are you not isolating? Are you moving through things instead of avoiding things? Are you actively doing the work that you said you wanted to do, right? Are you putting the story behind you? So now, that's productivity. But I think like 2 years ago, my productivity was running classes, it was creating, it was posting, it was collaborating, it was trying new things, it was being open to the universe, and it was training. Like, that's such a different idea of productivity than what I have going on right now. I think we forget to change our definition with our seasons. Some things can remain, right? Like, I think I'm being productive when I go to the gym. I think I'm being productive when I'm keeping my room clean. I think I'm being productive when I'm not really festering in my thoughts and I'm not complaining as much. Those are the things that are kind of like constant in all of my chapters. I think it's important to change your definition of productivity depending on the season you're in. And the same goes for the word success, right? Like, what does success mean to you? It can change. You're allowed to change it. And I think because it does change, but we're not willing to let go of that old definition, we end up suffering. We end up causing this narrative in our head that we are not successful, that we are not good enough, we are not worthy, when in reality, things are happening in your life, constant change is happening, you're pivoting, new desires are coming up, something that used to feel exciting doesn't anymore, something that never felt exciting now feels exciting. Like, we might have to change and be aware of these changes as they're happening so much. And when we just stick to the same plan, we end up kind of making ourselves feel bad for no reason. And that's what I'm realizing with all of this is I've just been tearing myself down for nothing. There's nothing actually wrong in my life. Do I think that I can do better in some aspects? Yeah, of course. But at the core of it, it's not that I need all this like fixing and healing. I just need to live. And it's so crazy that it takes so much brain power for me to like just allow myself to exist as a human being, mistakes and all, but that's where I'm coming from. Like, I've had this idea of perfection, this super deep need to just be amazing and perfect and just not flawed, when it's just, that's not even possible. And I'm aware of that already, and yet subconsciously the narrative that keeps running is, you have to be perfect. You messed up here. You messed this opportunity up. You did that. You caused this. You ruined it. Like, all of that is still going for no reason, right? That narrative that's running is actually hindering my productivity. It's hindering my ability to do the things that I want to do. I think our understanding of self-worth also has to change. What does it mean to you? Do you only deserve things because you're being productive? These are things I'm still exploring and figuring out myself. So by no means do I have this all figured out, but I do know in theory that I am deserving of love just as is, just the way I am right now, without changing a thing. All human beings deserve to be loved because we are an extension of Source, of God. We come from that. God is love. So how could I not be deserving? How could I not be worthy of that, right? That's easier said than done, obviously. But I think if that's your baseline, that really changes your motivations for doing things. If you're doing things to feel worthy, you might fill yourself up with so much love, and you might come to realize, I actually don't want to do these things, that I was just seeking validation, that I was just trying to see if I am of value to other people. So it's really important to be honest about whether you do feel worthy. And I have to say, I have my days. I have my days when I feel really good and I feel really powerful and I feel really grounded. And then I have other days when it's like a crazy tornado in my brain and I'm contemplating my reason for existing. But I realize all of that is just doubt and fear. It's something that I've been telling myself because I'm afraid to try and then actually fail. I realize I actually need more failures in my life so I can develop some thicker skin and just get myself up and keep going, versus feeling like I am incapable at anything in life just because I had one failure. And even then, it's not really a failure. It's like either I learn from it and move on, or I'm being redirected into something that is actually for me. So I'm really trying to adapt that mentality as well, that nothing is really a failure. But the doubt and fear does need to be checked at the door, because that can keep you from taking any sort of action, which can then fuel your feelings of being unworthy. A little tricky, but I hope that makes sense. I think the other thing that's really important is to stop comparing yourself to other people. Like I said, my definition of productivity is now going to have to change depending on which season of life I'm in. Because of that, how could I ever compare to anyone? Maybe we're in different chapters. Maybe we're never going to be in the same chapter. Imagine you're comparing yourself to someone and they're on like this trajectory and you're like on this one, and you're looking over here like, oh my god, look at what they're doing. That looks like I want to do that. You're going in opposite directions, but it's never going to be intersecting, and now you just feel bad. That's not nice, right? That's not fun. You can never compare to anyone. You have no idea what people are going through, what they're dealing with, what they've had to go through to get to where they are. There's so much, and you have no idea what's in store for you when we're focused on what other people are doing. If it makes you feel a type of way about yourself, just take that blessing that it's showing you something about yourself. Maybe you want to do the same thing. Maybe you just want the feeling of what you think they're feeling. I don't know, like, you know, that's something for you to figure out, but it's telling you something about yourself. So that thing actually is bringing you closer to you, which is such a gift eventually, right? I'm saying this after going through my own cycles of comparison, and it's hard. Social media makes it hard, but I take steps like logging out, right? I'll log out at night and I'll log in when I'm in a flow or I'll log in to post and then I'll log out again. I try not to scroll. I try to keep myself busy with things to do in real time. So you have to know yourself, and then you have to act accordingly. So stop the comparing. I think we should just also accept that there's going to be times when you don't accomplish as much and that's okay, and that's a part of life. In the slowness and in the stillness is where we get to really check in with ourselves on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-to-moment basis even. We get to really breathe and cherish the time that we have in the day, the free time, because life will eventually get busy again. I think it's just a matter of being accepting of where you're at, where God is keeping you, being there instead of wishing you were somewhere else doing something else. Overall, this general idea of productivity is also being pushed on us with social media these days. We're not machines, you know? Our ideas, our creativity, our inspiration, it comes when it comes. I don't think we should be so rigid with ourselves trying to make all that happen. I think we should have a general list of things to do in the day to keep ourselves up on our feet, like taking a walk, getting some movement in, eating good food, getting good sleep. I think the basics need to be met, and those habits can be installed into your life so that even when you're not feeling good, you know the importance of taking care of yourself in that way, and that can be productive enough. But the other things, like accomplishing your goals and all that stuff, whatever your goal is, whatever your desire is, it's important to make sure that you're in a place of feeling good before striving for those things. Because if you're striving from a place of needing that thing to feel good, there will always be another thing. You're going to spend a lot of time just going in that circle. I think I'm still there in some ways, maybe ways I don't even realize. So I'm just sharing my thoughts that I'm having about my personal life. I can't say it's all clear, but I want to make sure that I feel good just as is, and then I can do the things that feel good versus doing things I don't really want to do just because I'm seeking some sort of validation. You know, it stops you from going in these like cycles of causing ruckus in your own life and then picking up the pieces again, which is something I have found myself doing a lot. So yeah, your productivity and worth are not joined. I'm learning that I take life a little too seriously, that my productivity is going to change and that I'm okay with that. I'm learning that what I want is possible. I'm learning that I can do anything and I don't need to put myself into a box, and trust the universe, trust God, take steps without seeing the end goal. I'm learning that I'm just supposed to experience things and I'm letting myself experience them. So that's been my journey, and that's it for today. You know, I know there's like no one answer for all of this. These are just suggestions. These are things that I'm thinking and doing and trying. If they help, that's amazing. If not, and you have something else that helps or helps you, I would love to hear your story and your experience. You can leave it in the comments. But other than that, I hope this helps, and I will talk to you guys soon. One love.